This is Momxiety with Sav Social, and I'm your host, Samantha. Let's get right into it before the baby wakes up. So, today I have my beautiful mother on. She was a little hesitant, but I forced her, and now she's regretting it, I think. Um, we actually are both very shy people, but we got this, right?
Yes.
My microphone.
Yes.
Okay, first order of business. Hold the microphone up to your mouth.
Not used to being interviewed.
We're not in our typical space today. We are on our family vacation, but we really wanted to get this episode out for you guys. To my one follower. Okay, so I kind of set this up where we're going to be doing more of like an interview just to talk a little bit about her experience as a mother and yeah.
Her advice?
Yes, if she has any advice for anybody, for new moms. Okay, so let's get started. My first question for you is, how old were you when you had both babies?
So I was 29 when I had Mikey and 31 when I had you.
Okay, so I was 25 when I had Bubba,
Yeah.
so kind of close in age.
Yes.
Okay, and then when you found out you were pregnant, were you nervous? Was it planned?
Never planned.
Okay.
We don't plan anything. Very nervous. Even though I was, 28 years old, I was very immature.
Were you
So
nervous to tell like your parents, or was it just being pregnant is
we
what
were
you're
excited to tell our parents, but just nervous that I'm going to be responsible for a human being.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody feels
Yeah.
the same way, no matter
Just
how prepared.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming that you think that you're going to be the person that's going to decide everything for
Of
somebody.
course, yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is. It's very scary. No matter how much support you have from anybody, it's
Yeah.
always a scary
Because at the
thing.
end of the day, you're the one
Yes,
making all the decisions and,
of course.
24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question for you is, so when you went to the doctor, I want to really talk about how so much has changed over time.
Mhm.
Was For every appointment, did you expect to get an ultrasound every time? Like how was it
They
with
didn't
you?
do that.
They only did
I
it
did
once?
it. They did it, I think, at like 20 weeks
Right.
and then at the end
Mhm.
to make sure that you had fluid and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's
There
crazy.
was they didn't feel that it was safe.
Yeah.
But I guess the technology changed and
Yeah,
now
a lot
they
of
feel like it's
evolving.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, cuz for me, I feel like almost every appointment I got an ultrasound.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And also, did they do genetic testing back then, or that you can remember? Because
They
maybe
did
they
they
did,
did
but
some testing for Down syndrome. I remember that. I don't remember genetic testing. Like I don't remember saying, "Oh, you're carrying this,"
right,
or
specific genes.
I don't think they did that. Yeah.
That's interesting. Um, and also, did you find out the gender in the beginning, or did you wait till the end?
So for Mikey, we didn't find out the gender.
Okay.
It wasn't like a big thing back then, and it
Mhm.
wasn't accurate. Sometimes it was off.
That's
Sometimes it
so
wasn't even
funny.
right. Yeah.
Imagine.
And so Mikey, we were surprised, but for you, I was like 18 days late.
Oh my God.
So the doctor kind of said, "Come in here now," because they kind of forgot about me,
Yeah.
and he sent me for an ultrasound, and I was so uncomfortable and
Right, you're done
huge.
at that point. It's like,
I said, my
please.
husband said, "We don't want to know the gender," but I said, "I'm 18 days late. Don't tell me, just let me see
Yeah.
that area." And she put us in the area, and I said to her, "I don't see anything," and she kind of said,
Mm.
so I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I guess there's nothing to see," and she said, "Nope."
Aw.
And my husband cried.
Aw. Don't tell him we included that in this. He's gonna be
Yeah.
like, cut it out. No, that's crazy. I feel like now everybody is so, and maybe it's not really a bad thing, but people are so impatient. They just want to know. Like, I don't know how I could have waited till the end. I feel like it's so exciting. You want to know immediately, but I guess
Yeah.
if not, like, it's not as common back then. So
It's not that it wasn't common. I think we were just a different generation. Like this generation is an instant gratification
yeah,
generation. I want everything now. Like I want to know,
yeah,
no one really wants to wait to, everything's planned, everything is, staged.
mm,
Our social media staged, everything's
yeah.
staged.
No, it really
So it's
is.
not, they don't leave much to just
Letting
God.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Um, so was it a big transition from having one kid versus two, or at that point where you just comfortable? Sorry, we are in like the woods and there's a deer behind us.
What?
Okay, there's a mother deer. She's here for mom's-iety. That's gonna be our next guest. Sorry. Okay, so our question was it a big transition for having one kid versus two?
I mean, one kid, Mikey was a portable baby. He was, he was. I was working full time. He was with my mom. We didn't change our plan.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, our lifestyle stayed the same.
Hmm.
Parties and barbecues and family and friends over. And second baby came along. I was like, okay, maybe I could keep working. And I
Hmm.
tried for 8 months, and then I was like, this is not
Yeah.
working. So I stayed home.
Hmm.
So it was the only thing I could say is that the second baby, you don't remember all the details as the first baby because you're busy with two babies.
Yeah. And
Like,
also too, I feel like when you have two, you already have the experience from the first one, so
yeah,
it's kind of like they're clumped together, and
yeah.
like they're maybe they're learning quicker
Hmm.
or different. But yeah, no, definitely,
Some of it was a blur.
yeah, it's okay. Thanks, mom. All right, let's
Only
stop.
because you're just going through the motions and you're
Yeah.
you're tired. You don't mean to.
Okay, so basically, it was a pretty smooth transition with one kid versus two.
Hmm.
And that leads me to my next question. Not that you have a third kid, but you are now a grandmother.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit about the time from your perspective of when I told you I was going to be a mom.
So it was the most amazing feeling
Mm-hmm.
um,
Put that.
to know that I'm going to be a grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
um, and to just have a baby in the family again, and just new exciting things happening,
You're like reliving it.
just reliving it, but on a better
Yeah.
you know a better way that you don't have to stress that as much. You
Yeah.
still stress,
No,
but
you probably stress
yeah,
more now.
yeah, I do stress, but it's exciting. It's exciting seeing my son being an uncle.
Interacting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes your heart melt.
Yeah. It's a
My
whole
husband is just, he doesn't drop.
over the
Yeah,
moon.
he doesn't drop anything for anyone except for
Hmm.
Jakey. But it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Were you nervous though? Like,
I was nervous that knowing that my daughter was going to have some pain,
yeah.
in the labor and delivery, and no one wants to see their kid have this go through something that they went through that they know was excruciating. But like I said to her, if it was as bad as if it was that bad, no one would have more than one.
Of
So,
course.
so that's all she kept asking me, and that was my only answer because I didn't want to tell her how much pain she's going to be in.
Yeah,
But
and
she's a pretty strong girl.
oh,
So
thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go into our nap time tea. So just to give you a little background, basically I give you topics on things that are like lighthearted but maybe controversial or just giving your opinion basically on
okay.
it. So the first topic is being friends with your child. So I'll go first so you
Hmm.
get a gist of what I usually do. So I think it's good to have a balance of being a friend but also having them respect you as your parent.
Hmm.
Um, my husband feels the same way. He he always says like, not that he doesn't want to be friends, but he wants them to respect us. And I think there's a good balance. Obviously, we're not at that point yet, but now that we're older, what's your feelings and perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be a friend to your child only because no one is going to care about them as much as you do.
Yeah.
Especially, with you being a girl and I have to be your best friend because no one else is going to give up hold on to your
Yeah.
secrets like I do,
Hmm.
because you are my daughter. And
You feel this
yeah,
pretty much the same way, I
yeah,
feel
but
like.
you need respect because you are a parent. I
Hmm.
mean, you shouldn't be afraid to be a parent.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's cut the cameras. We're about to start fighting. No, I'm kidding. But okay. So our second topic for nap time tea is giving your child an allowance for chores versus, maybe some people just believe that they should be doing it because you told them to.
I
So I
never,
think this is
yeah, we never
yeah.
had allowance. If you were good, you were able to get stuff or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were acting up, we held back.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt pressured to buy something just because you were crying over it. Because
Yeah.
no, I mean that's not the right way um, to do things. I think that you have to have a balance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I let you hold on to birthday money or whatever just to know the value of a dollar,
Yeah.
but I it actually killed me sometimes because I would say, if you really want that, you could use your money. And meanwhile, I wanted to buy it for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to be firm and go against my feelings and say, if you want it that bad, you could use your birthday money. And sometimes you got to be like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
All
want
of
to
a sudden,
buy
we
it.
don't want
Yeah.
it. We don't care that
I'm
much.
like, oh, wait, you're going to waste my money. So,
No, I agree with
hmm.
that. I don't think it's necessary to give an allowance. I think, rewarding is always a good thing, but I think chores are chores.
Yeah,
And
chores,
based on your age, like when
mhm.
you're really, really little, it's okay to like teach them to clean up. Like you start
Clean
with
up your
little
room.
things,
Yeah.
and as you get older, maybe your chores change, maybe doing laundry or
Hmm.
whatever. I mean,
No.
we never.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yes. So
You
that.
know what? There wasn't any specific chores, but when I needed you, you guys always came through for me. I think I raised two very good kids. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't all me. It was, obviously my husband, but I there was a lot of praying,
Mhm.
and um, God gives you, you know, good kids, and you just have to keep them that way.
Yeah.
That's how I
That's
feel.
the challenge.
Everybody starts out good,
Hmm.
so you just have to make
Yeah,
sure
and I
you
think
keep them that way.
everybody, like, when you're young, what you're teaching them is how they'll continue to grow. You look back and you remember things that happened when you're younger because as a child, we think maybe they're just, you're just babies, but really they're absorbing everything. I mean,
Everything.
even with my son, everything we say, he will grab one word and maybe try to repeat it. I'm not saying like,
Hmm.
exactly, he's still so little, but my point is that they absorb everything and I think you could teach anything at a young age.
Even just a little thing with Jakey, I I say to him, "Oh, come on, come kiss the cross, Jakey," and he kisses it. Now every time he sees me, he takes my cross and he makes me kiss it. So that means that
It's
if I did
repetition.
something wrong, he's going to associate me with that item that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's good to just always be on alert that you have to be a good example. You're on recording all the
Yeah.
time by them.
Yeah.
You can't take it back.
Hmm.
You know, I once got upset in the car and I cursed, and it came back at me from Samantha. And it upset me because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that in front of her. But
Yeah.
you get upset in the heat of the moment and you say something, and now you can't take it back because the kids heard it. And
Hmm.
and hopefully, good luck.
Basically, don't get in the car with her. She's got road rage. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, it really they absorb everything, and it's always good to watch what you're saying. Okay, so that concludes our nap time tea. We're gonna skip the three icks of the day and play a little game of then versus now. So the first topic is organic food. So nowadays, I feel like everybody is stressing to give your child organic. Um, what are you? Basically, the point of this is like I'm gonna say what they've told me now, and then you're gonna say if they told you that, if
Hmm.
you this is doesn't exist back then. So yeah, so organic food is the first topic, and they push it a lot. I'm not saying again it's right or
Yeah.
wrong, and maybe things have changed, but
Yeah,
what?
I mean, I don't think we even talked about organic food back then.
Hmm.
It was expensive. If it, it was just introduced and it was expensive, and I didn't really understand what
Yeah, what the push was.
what the the benefit or whatever, but like we do now.
Hmm.
um I'm not even sure if I 100% agree, because I don't know how they grew it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hoping that you have somebody that's reliable, that you're a reliable source, that you're buying organic, and there's different ways of making something organic without being 100% good.
Right.
I mean, obviously I'll buy something if it says no antibiotics, no, nothing additive. That's, of course, you want to do that, but
Hmm. Yeah, you don't know
you
what's
don't
right
really
or
have full
wrong, but
control. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so the second topic is water, giving a child water after they're 1 years old. So, you know, now at the point that he's 9 months. They said I could start slowly introducing it when he eats food, but really you shouldn't be giving them like bottles of water until they're after one. Did they tell you this?
I don't remember anybody talking about water. I don't recall that at all. I don't recall
No.
any. No, I don't recall them saying to limit it or not give it, or I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just hold that a little tall. Okay. So the third topic is that walkers now are not recommended. I don't know. I think it's maybe it could affect their knees and their growth, but that's what our pediatrician told us, or the office actually, because there's
Yeah.
multiple people have said
I
this.
mean, they back then we all used walkers. That was, that was, the kids loved them.
Yeah.
I lived in a ranch, so it was nice because you guys just
Right. We
took
just
off. There was no stairs. There
you
was
weren't
no,
worried about
yeah, there was
anything.
nothing in your way to and it was freedom for the baby. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly the reason. Like maybe they would say just to be careful that they don't tip over if
Right.
they
That may be dangerous, like getting hurt.
that way. But I didn't, like, no one ever said like, oh, it would affect their legs or anything.
Right. Any growth
No,
stunting their growth.
no.
Okay. Um, the fourth one is teething gel. So I've heard people still now using it.
Hmm.
Again, I don't know what's right or wrong, but we were told not to use teething gel. I think there's a few on the market that have been recalled. Obviously, you know, check this on your own, do your own research, ask your doctor personally, but that's what I heard. Again, I don't know what's right or
Yeah,
wrong. For him, I use ice packs. He loves it. He
yeah,
that really is what helps him the most. Right now, he's getting his top two teeth, so he's going through it. But the teething ice packs have been helping him.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
see any other Tylenol. They say also,
Yeah.
but teething gel. What did they?
Nobody told us not to use them. I mean, in general, I don't like to give a lot of medicine. I'm
Mhm.
not, I grew up in a household that tried to do things, let things go away on their
Holistic.
own,
Hmm.
you know. But, you know, I just don't like to give a lot of medicine. But when it
Yeah,
got really bad,
yeah. Of
you
course,
had
you
to
have
do
to go to
something because you weren't, you don't want them to be, you know,
in pain.
in pain, and you don't want them to, it's trauma. Like
Yeah,
when you're in that much pain and nothing's going away, it's traumatic,
yeah,
you know.
definitely. Okay. Okay, so the fifth topic is taking photos on your phone. Um, I'm sure back then you use cameras.
Cameras, and I had a video camera.
Yeah.
I like to video a lot. I like to say the date, when I first videoed,
Right.
and then and you could hear my voice in every single one of them
Yeah.
saying today is June
It's
17th.
Christmas Day
Yes,
2020 or
I
whatever.
did a
Not
lot. I was a
2020,
little
but
bit of a paparazzi
yeah.
with my camera and my video, which I kind of slowed down on, and I'm upset because
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of.
I know. And I feel like it's just because our phone it really is just easier. But I feel like now a lot of people are buying digital cameras and printing them because it's nice to have a physical photo in your hand and
Hmm.
for kids to look back and say, "Oh, look at me when I was little," and this,
Yeah.
not scrolling through a phone. It has changed, but I feel like like I'm joking. I feel like it is coming back. Okay. So this, what does that mean?
Water?
No,
No.
but put that up. Okay. So the sixth topic is um I'm trying to think how to word this. Basically, I was trying to say how movies are so accessible and back then it would be like a family affair to go
Yes.
to Blockbuster, get your books, get your movies,
We used
and
to go to the library too. The library had free movies, or maybe they were very inexpensive. I don't remember if they were free or just really cheap. Go and get movies for the weekend, or stop at Blockbuster on the way down. We used to have a house in the Poconos, and that was our only entertainment all weekend. We would
mhm.
just like that was our routine. Stop at Blockbusters, everybody pick out a movie, and
Blockbusters and Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
That was the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely has changed, but I feel like a lot of families are trying to bring that back.
Hmm.
Okay, so the sixth topic is TV dinner. This kind of goes with the other one. TV dinner versus having a family dinner.
Hmm.
I feel like for us personally, I can't breathe.
We
You go.
always liked having a family dinner. I remember my husband even saying when the kids got a little older and they would ask if their friends could eat over, and we never minded having kids in the house, but sometimes he would say, "I just want to recap with my kids. Like
Hmm.
I just want to have our own family alone." Just so you hear what happened in school, what's happening in sports,
Right.
whatever they wanted, whatever topic they wanted to talk about. It's very important to sit around the table and and discuss things
Yeah.
just to get friendly again with your kids, and to
Hmm.
be a part of their life, a part of knowing what's going on.
Yeah. And that's one thing too, just to go a little bit off topic for now. I feel like you guys always let us have people in our house. And I always talk about this with Jake. We will 100% do this because I feel like when you let your kid leave the house, you don't know what they're
Hmm.
going to be exposed to. And that's one thing that, obviously there's a lot of things we take from you guys as parents and like, same with Jake's family. But that's one thing that
Yeah,
we always talk about
it always
how.
scared me not knowing what my kids were doing,
Mhm.
or if they needed me and they couldn't reach out, because back then there was no phones. So if they left, and that's it. you
Yeah.
know um
And I don't even I think it's a good balance that you're giving us our space, but also,
you're there, you
you're
know
not,
they're
it's not like you're
safe, right?
coming and knocking on the door every two
No,
seconds,
and
but
I never did. I never
no,
went down to, when Mikey was down there with his friends, or you were down in the basement with your friends. I did not
no, there's boundaries,
intrude on
but still,
that, but at the same time I knew that you were safe.
yeah.
And if it was going to cost me frying 6 pounds of chicken because there was so many kids in my house, I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay, so the eighth topic is car seats. Car seats. I'm bringing this up because, we were just in the car a little while ago and you had mentioned something very funny to me that nowadays there's so many safety precautions um, for car seats. Again, we're not saying right or wrong. We're just saying how it was then, how it was now,
Hmm.
and how much has changed. So, do you want to explain how it used to be?
So with us, there was no restraint in the car other than a seatbelt.
Hmm.
There was no metal little bracket things to hang on to. And they kind of said in the beginning, when the baby is young, they should be facing back. But since we didn't have airbags in the front of the car, we could put the baby in the front seat facing back. So, and that's
Yeah.
what I did,
Yeah.
and which is, if I'm alone in the car, at least baby was next to me. If
Right. You could easily.
I could speak to,
Yeah. If they needed anything, you were right there.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I remember even as crazy as it is, but even in the hospital, the nurse actually came downstairs with us and she made sure the
yeah.
seatbelt, I mean, sorry, the car seat was secure and that we
Wow.
had something,
Oh my
which
God.
I was really shocked because, she really waited. Like, Jake had to go get the
Yeah.
car, pull it around. Like, she didn't care. That was her job to bring the baby down
Wow.
and make sure he
They didn't
couldn't,
do that.
they would not, yeah, I could
They just
assume.
said, "Do you have a car seat?" We would say yes,
Yeah.
and
And they
that's it.
believed
They
you.
believed me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's a lot. I feel like a lot has changed. A lot stayed the same, but I feel like in the end, it all will work out.
Hmm.
And as a mother, you get develop that instinct of doing what you think is best, and
Yeah.
that's it. And really, the last thing I was going to ask you is if you have any piece of advice for new moms or moms, people women that are pregnant. Do you have any
Um,
words for them?
just to be close with your kids. Um,
And keeping your word.
Keeping your word is very, very, very important, and that teaches them to respect you, first of all,
Hmm.
and it also teaches them, um, you know, how do I say it? It just
They're
they're
trusting you.
trusting you
That's a really
because,
big
yeah,
deal.
you have to have respect. Respect is a very important thing, and the trust is because you want them to know that when you make a promise, you're going to keep that promise. You're going to always be there for them, that they know, oh, mom will do that, or dad,
Hmm.
I know I can call him at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm uncomfortable where I am,
Hmm.
come get me, and he will go get him,
With no
or
questions
get
too,
her.
really.
Yeah. No questions. You just,
Maybe a
you know,
few questions.
yeah. Another thing is also to let your kids grow up with faith. It's you can't be a good parent if your kids don't have a base and a fear of God.
Yeah.
That's so important, because parents are only there to guide you and to protect you on this earth. But if you don't have good foundation with God, and then the times that they're not with you,
Right.
all hell will break loose.
Yeah.
Like, I understand some people, you could raise your kids and you could have a very strict, curfew and this and that, and go to bed at this time and do all that, and people think that that's very important. But you go away to college and you're 18 years old,
And it's a
and the
free for
next
all.
thing you know, you have no one telling you anything.
Yeah.
And to me, that's culture shock. um, because you're it's almost like you're letting go of a rubber band.
Yeah.
You're holding that rubber band tight, and then you're letting it go, and it's out there on its own.
Yeah.
Going as you know So I do believe that early on you have to teach your kids values, and not to sound like a preacher, but I wouldn't have the kids that I have today if they didn't have God in their life. And I'm very proud that their faith is actually stronger than mine. And I don't even know how that could be. If I taught them something, how could they surpass
Hmm.
me? Just as you are a much better mom than I
Oh
was.
God, don't say that.
It's true.
Thank you.
Because I was very
We're gonna,
naive, and
everybody's
I
out right now.
feel
We're gonna
like
become
you're
back. We're
wiser than
hysterically
me.
crying.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
much wiser than I was. I just kind of was a little more laxed. You guys had a lot of candy. No.
Oh gosh, so my teeth are all messed up.
Thank God you still have teeth.
Yeah.
No, but it's just I'm
Well,
very proud of how you guys ended up being.
thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. I definitely will take your advice on, practicing, you know, showing my son who God is, and again, teaching him the fear of him, like, to not be scared, but just to know that if I'm not there, he's there to watch over him.
Hmm.
And yeah, I really think this episode went pretty well. I know you were a little nervous at first, but I think you're going to be a popular hit.
Ooh.
um, I just want to say thank you guys again. Thank you, Mom, for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
She is the one who gave me the mom's-anxiety. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you soon. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.